Hi guys, happy Monday. So today is day one of the sleep challenge, so hopefully you guys have found me. While I'm waiting for people to jump in, I will just give you a bit of a rundown on the week. So basically it's a 4-day challenge this week, 12 o'clock every day in the group. And I've also got somebody coming Wednesday at 8 o'clock to talk through some reflexology techniques to use with to help with sleep. So that's going to be really exciting. So I'm really looking forward to the week. I hope you guys are too. I appreciate that people are going to be jumping in and out. So if you're watching it on the replay, please put #replay. Please still comment in and I can get back to you guys. I'll be checking in on the videos anyway, so if you want to ask any questions, please ask away. I hope everybody is doing good. So my name is Claire Elms and I am an emotional wellbeing consultant and therapist and life coach. So the reason I decided to do the sleep challenge really was because quite a few people have been coming to me saying that they're really struggling with their sleep, really noticing issues with their sleep. I've really noticed that COVID has caused quite a lot of people to really struggle with their sleep. We are obviously like loss of routine and difficulties around, you know, so many different things to do with like not being out and about so much, not being as active, the routine between life and work and things, and just generally a lot of people are under more pressure and more stress. So it felt like a really good opportunity to do something to help you guys. So this week is a bit of a 4-day blast. Obviously sleep work is quite complicated. So it's not going to just resolve your sleep issues in this week, but what it will do is help you to look at what you can do going forward. So I've also struggled a lot with sleep over the years as well. So my mind is one of those that whizzes around. So anyone that's spent any time with me, like sleepover type things, you know, there's a bit of a running joke where, you know, I get into bed and the switch goes off and then I'm chatting away for another hour or so before I go to sleep. So so I've always had issues with sleep as well. So it felt a really relevant thing for me to do as well, because it's something that I've been working really hard on recently. And I'm trained in CBTI now, which was something that I trained in this year. So I've been helping people with their sleep on and off for years anyway, just not as a really structured thing. We would do a lot of work alongside it, and I'd refer out to other agencies to do sleep work, but would work alongside them. So it felt like a really good thing to be able to do. CBTI is cognitive behaviour therapy for insomnia, and what that does is it really helps you to look at things differently. It's a really structured approach. It's backed in science, so it was something that I really wanted to give people proper advice based on science-backed information, rather than just doing kind of what I'd always done and kind of chatting. And a lot of what I've done is really relevant anyway. It's based on CBT and behaviour activation, which is another approach that's used quite commonly with sleep issues. So that's a bit about me and what this is all about. The plan is for today we're going to be talking a bit more about sleep and looking at where your sleep is at the moment. Tomorrow is very clearly around goal setting, looking at what you want to work towards, and looking at some sleep diaries. So I'm going to be introducing you guys to sleep diaries tomorrow. And then Wednesday is all about, like, there's 3 main systems within sleep. So it's going to be talking about the 3 main systems, sleep drive, body clock, and conditioned arousal, and looking at practical things that you can do to start to change some of those things for you. And day 4 is sort of a Q&A and a bit of a review and a rundown of the week, really. So, and then as I say, we've got 8 o'clock on Wednesday. Amy's going to be coming in and doing some stuff with us around reflexology for sleep. So it's a bit of an action-packed week this week. Ask any questions as you go. Feel free to message me privately if you don't want to put it on the group. I appreciate that some people want specific things answered. So do use it as an opportunity to do that as well. So Yeah, so I guess I wanted to talk a bit more about sleep really, about what sleep is, how much we need and all of that kind of thing, because I think there's so much where people thought that that you needed to have 8 hours of sleep a day, but quite often 8 hours is like the average, but people can tolerate a lot less. So some people only need 5.5 hours, some people need 9 hours. So it's a bit of a strange construct really, that we have in our heads that we have to have 8 hours of sleep a day. And obviously it varies, doesn't it? So I don't know if you guys know how much sleep you need. I know I need at least 5.5, 6 hours to be properly with it in the next day. So it's looking at that to start with, like everyone's different. And also looking at like whether you're a night owl or an early bird. So I'm sure most people have heard those sayings, so it'd be great to hear from you if you are a night owl or an early bird, because I think obviously that makes a difference. I know lots of people, by night owls and early birds, I mean that the early birds are the ones that get up early and are really ready for the day and probably like to go to bed quite a bit earlier, so probably like to be in bed about 8:39 or so. And night owls are the opposite, they'd much rather stay up till about 11, 12 o'clock at night, but sort of struggle more to get up in the morning. So it's important when we think about adjusting sleep that we look at like what sort of person we are as well, because I'm a night owl and I wouldn't be able to go to bed at 9 o'clock. So it's looking at what's realistic for people. So that's a really important thing to focus on. And yeah, I guess thinking a bit about what sleep is, it's a construct and it's something that we all know that we need. It helps to restore our bodies, it helps to process, it helps with a lot of memory stuff, and it helps with the physical side of things as well. So it's got obviously loads of really important things that we need in that. There are 3 main systems, like I touched on just now. There's the body clock, which is the one that most people know about, where we kind of wake up and go to bed and we look at it based on time of day and things like that. There's the sleep drive, which has been sort of referred to like either through like a balloon or an elastic band. You need to have like enough sleep drive to be able to go to sleep. So quite often, especially at the moment with COVID, where we're not perhaps exercising as much, or we're not out and about as much, and we're at home more and we've lost a bit more routine, I think that's the one that's been hit quite a bit, because we're not, our days aren't filled up as much, and therefore it means that we're more tired, when we go to bed. So looking at all of these different things is really important. And the third part of our sleep system is around the arousal. So we call it conditioned arousal, and all that basically means is like what your situation is like around your thoughts around bedtime. So I think especially around COVID times, a lot of us are using our bedrooms for work and study and things like that, which means that our bodies are getting used to, they've paired the bed up not necessarily with sleep, they've paired it up with thinking time and other sort of things that we do in the bedroom. So it's it's sort of repairing the brain and the body to kind of actually go to sleep when we're due to go to sleep, basically. So that's sort of a bit more about sleep and what sleep is. And there's obviously stages of sleep, which I'm not going to go too much into, because it's just about focusing more on how to help you to manage sleep. So the insomnia side of things, when we think about insomnia, a lot of us don't think that we have insomnia, but like the diagnosis for insomnia is like people having difficulty functioning, people having difficulty sleeping for more than 3 months. So it's quite an abstract kind of diagnosis really, and it's something that I think a lot of us before would have, like, I would never have said I've got insomnia. I would never have gone to the GP to say that I had insomnia, but I definitely did. So I think it's about bringing into the awareness that maybe you know, I would have said things like, I'm just always a bad sleeper. That was like what I would say to people. That was my story that I used to tell myself. And what we know is that our beliefs are really pivotal within a lot of this stuff as well. If we have a belief that, you know, sleep is hard and sleep is difficult, then it's going to be really difficult. So it is about shifting a lot of that mindset stuff this week as well. So hopefully you guys will be able to shift your mindset while you're actually understanding this stuff as well, to really unpick what's going to happen. And, you know, if you do need further support and you do want more input, then do go to the GP and discuss other things. But I know with CBTI in particular, they actually say now to try that before you actually try sleeping medication, because things like melatonin, which is one of the main things that we get prescribed for sleeping, won't work with insomnia. So it's about really being mindful about trying this approach first to see whether or not it does work. There are sleeping programs that the GP can refer you to, so it's always good to kind of look into that. Obviously, if you do get a lot out of this week, I will be offering a course as well. I've written an 8-week course to help people with managing their sleep, because this is a good starting point, but you know, it's about really understanding and unpicking all the different things to make it bespoke to you and to help you get a time in bed prescription and various other things, which we'll cover later on in the week. So I just wanted to give you a bit of an overview about what it's all about, really, because I think a lot of people wouldn't refer to themselves as having insomnia but actually do. So I think it's really important, and it does help. You know, the CBTI, it does help with a lot of sleeping issues, you know, which might be caused from trauma, anxiety, depression, chronic pain, TBI, sleep apnea and nightmares as well. So it does link in really well with actually the other stuff that I do, because a lot of the other stuff I'm tackling alongside it in the daytime. So so that's a bit about all the different stuff to do with what we're doing this week. What I wanted to do today, if you look in your PDF for the challenge, which should be in the group, hopefully that's all gone through okay and people can access it. If you can't access it or you can't find it, let me know. There will be, for those that have signed up, there will be a booklet going out on the emails with the replay for this as well. So hopefully you can find it okay. So what I wanted to do a little bit was to start to think about your sleep at the moment, in the here and now. Where are you at with your sleep? It'd be great to hear in the comments like how many hours sleep you think you're roughly getting a night. So, you know, drop in the comments with how much sleep you're getting. I actually realise I don't think I can see the comments, but hopefully I can when it comes through. Oh, goodness me. Someone tried to phone me and the voicemail's going, so now it's going to ring through about 5 times. So that's going to be fun. Sorry about that, guys. This is the joys of tech, isn't it? So I wanted to think about your sleep, like how many hours you're getting and how many hours you feel like you need to get in order to have enough sleep. So thinking about where you're at now with your sleep, I wanted to do a bit of a visualization with you. So whatever you're doing, if you're multitasking or if you're out and about or whatever, just try and stop for a minute. I want you to just take a moment just to focus on your breath and just to take a big deep breath. God, my sinuses are playing up with the hay fever. But take a big deep breath, and if you feel comfortable, just close your eyes, and I want you to imagine where your sleep is at now. So just try and focus on what that looks like for you, you know, almost roll through it like you're watching it on a film, you know, you're getting ready for bed, what that looks like, how your actual sleep goes when you get into bed, all of those things. Just try and almost like play it out like a film in your mind. And when you feel comfortable, it would be really great if you could, whether you want to just imagine it yourself or whether you want to actually draw it. In the booklet I've got some space for you to draw it, so it'd be great. Don't worry about the level of drawing, it's not a judgment or a competition, but just by drawing it, it taps into our unconscious mind. So if you could just take some pens and just start drawing some shapes or some lines, it doesn't have to be anything structured. You could write words that come into your mind when you think about where your sleep is. What we're trying to do is tap into the unconscious, and the unconscious is a really powerful part of our brain, because once we've tapped into that and raised awareness, we can start to make changes. So yeah, so just take a moment just to draw a few things out, and when you feel ready, you know, feel free to obviously come back to this at another point, but when you feel ready, I want you to think about where you want to be. So same kind of process, take a big deep breath, close your eyes, and I want you to imagine that you are that you're playing out the sleep that's like your perfect night's sleep, the best sleep that you can ever have. So you are, you know, your evening routine is perfect, you get yourself into bed, you go to sleep, you have like the world's best sleep ever, and then you wake up in the morning and you feel really refreshed. Like really get a sense of what that feels like for you. And that will feel really hard because it's not something that you've done before for a while if you're struggling with your sleep. So really start to kind of unpick what that feels like for you. And again, when you feel ready, it would be great to just take a moment to draw out what that might feel like for you. So using colours and shapes, don't worry too much. You know, again, it's no judgment. Any words that have come into your head when you think about your ideal sleep. So that is kind of it for today. So today is about really starting to understand where you want to get to. And then what we can do is tomorrow we can really look at how you get there. So feel free to watch this over again, to take your time with those drawings, because that would be really helpful for your own kind of well-being and your own awareness to bring those in, and then we can focus on bits tomorrow. I don't know if there's any questions. I can see people are in and out, and I can't see, I don't know, Facebook's changed the Facebook Live process, so you can't actually see anything coming up. But if you do want to put any comments in, I can address those later on in the day, and feel free to message me as well. So yeah, I think that's kind of it. That's all I wanted to share today. So it's going to be a good week. I hope you guys are ready. I hope you're ready to spend the week trying to focus on this stuff, and let's help you get back on track with it. Okay, thanks then. Bye.